boy, I live down the Morning Road, and enough with all your rubbish. You cut the London Fire Brigade, you cut London. We are now increasing.
So please give up
No, talk to local people, local firemen. Local firemen. Right, the ordinance is we get killed in London. We get killed. Not these people, we get killed.
So this lady here would like to make a point as well.
No, I'm coming here late because I'm angry. Right, listen to people. You, my old friend, should be retired like I am. You've got all the old fruit and veg, as my old man would say it, right? You can smile, but you've got the smile of the sausage. Right?
Thank you.
Okay.
Then you may
If you don't
speak up,
mind,
mate.
sir, would you
You may
mind
carry
if
on.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sort of button.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And first of all, I just want to echo what Sybil and others have said about our fire servicemen. We really appreciate what they do, and we have no quarrel with the Commissioner and the fire service personnel. My questions are really for James. The first one is about the prevention work. Everyone's seen the work and achievements that have been made, and we recognise that that is a crucial way of reducing incidents. So can you, you've mentioned that you're going to continue that work. Can you explain exactly what the budget is going to be for that? And when you are reducing 520 frontline fire service men and women, how they are expected to put out fires and do the prevention? Because as you've heard, particularly from older residents, but also those with children, this is a really important part of the work, given all the socio-economic points that have been made and about the number of tower blocks that my colleague Mark Francis and others have mentioned. So we would really appreciate some clear answers on that, because as you've heard, there are a lot of concerns about this. My second point is to do with the consultation itself. The London Fire Authority opposed these cuts. My party has opposed these cuts, as have other parties. I led a group of over 30 MPs across London and contacted the mayor, went to the mayor's office and asked for him to think again. And as a result, and what we got is Stonewall. What I want to know is what exactly
You
the
know what,
process...
a lot of crap is usual. That's your mission.
That's not the Eastern Way, mate, is it?
I'm individual.
That's not the Eastern Way, mate. You just said the Eastern Way,
I don't
yeah?
give a monkey.
That's a lady speaking.
No,
That's a lady speaking. You're not a gentleman.
I'm talking about London Firemen.
So,
London
you are.
Firemen, you shut up.
Behave yourself.
No, I won't, you
Right, that's enough, both of you. That's enough.
No,
Enough,
I won't.
please, gentlemen, please. I will have my say. Please,
Carry on.
with respect, please. let me
Carry on,
finish.
I'll give you
Thank you.
carry on.
Thank you very much. Please be civil. Everyone else is being civil. We expect
Yeah,
that
but
from
we're people
everybody.
dying,
That's
darling.
enough. No, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
So
firemen,
please, bear with
firemen,
us.
firemen, it's all a bother. Lines led by bloody donkey, yeah, you lot.
Right.
First
Okay,
World
so
War,
I-
line,
Please, will you let the lady finish?
No, I will line will see first, then you can catch your dog and then keep it open, right?
Please, sir, you can let the lady finish.
No, I said
Let
you
the
can catch your
let the
dog,
lady
the
finish.
lady will tell, right?
So just to finish up for James, there is real concern about this consultation and what it's going to amount to. So can you say a bit about what you think the mayor will take into consideration? Because people across London are engaging with the consultation, taking their time to talk to you and others. And the final question is about the council tax, 1p council tax. Could you please think about giving people having a consultation about whether they'd rather have the 1p council tax or their fire services and the other services? Because that would be a genuine offer, and that would be a way for Londoners to genuinely engage with the London mayor and politicians, and that would restore some confidence in all of the political process, that they have a real choice. Otherwise, there's a real danger that this whole process of consultation would be a sham, because nobody's been listened to so far.
Yeah.
Sorry to come back in a second time, but I asked a question about actual response times. You said you didn't have the data. I was pretty surprised you said you didn't have the data. Now, having looked them up on an iPhone, I now understand why you didn't have the data. In Bow West, the current response time is 4 minutes 41. It will go up to 6 minutes 36, 1 minute 55 extra, a 30% increase. In Bow East, where the fire station is located, that will be closed under you, Mr. Cleverly, it will go from 4 minutes and 9 seconds to 7 minutes and 20 seconds. 3 minutes, 10-second increase, not, with all due respect, Commander, an average 23 seconds. 3 minutes, 10 seconds. When you're talking about a fire crew getting to the bottom of a 20-storey building after 7 minutes, and then having to climb 20 stories, that is the difference between life and death. And this consultation...
Answer it.
Thank you. I'm Councillor Yakabali. I sit on the London Fire Emergency Planning Authority, and unfortunately I've got to read this statement before I say anything. So the corporate view of the authority is that while it has recorded its opposition to station closures, appliances and staff reduction, it is consulting fairly on the draft LSP5 proposal, which are subject to the Mayor of London's direction, will take into account responses to the consultation before making a final decision. And certainly my personal view is that we shouldn't be closing these fire stations at all. That includes the 12 fire stations and 18 fire engines and 520 firefighters posts. And really want to put on record the amount of work that the firefighters do, wonderful work that they do, and certainly by losing some of these 520 posts, that will create havoc itself and all. And certainly closure of Bow Station won't help on that basis. And losing another fire engine from Whitechapel will certainly want and coming back onto some of those average times, it certainly will go up. And not only that, it will affect, there will be a ripple effect from the neighbouring boroughs and all, because Newham, if you look at it, Hackney, they're going to lose it and all. And certainly that will affect. And while the population is really going up here in Cllr Hamlets and all, and while there is declaration, nothing is being taken into account. It's really pity that the Mayor has refused to come and speak to these residents out there, coming out to these meetings. It's pity that it's put the Commissioner on the spot here, which is not the Commissioner's fault. It should be the Mayor that is coming up to these and making sure that he listens to that. And just wanted to sort of pick up the point that the Chairman of the Collaborative made about some of these issues, and certainly my colleagues already made about the penny a day, cut, and talk about 9 million, but there was other table amendments, and this was the first time that, especially at the GLA, that there was a technical amendment to it to make sure that the budget does come to the right figure on that basis. And certainly if the Mayor wanted to take that, then they would have. Not only that, but on certainly the Labour Government, the London Fire Authority, twice tabled successful amendments to stop the cuts going forward. And then what happened? The Mayor's used his power again and trying to railroad this. And I hope that the Mayor would listen to these consultations that are certainly taking place, because at the end of the day, this will be detrimental to the safety of the residents and their property. It will be put at risk these planes if they go ahead, and it's really important that they don't. But on top of that, there was, the GLA already, Boris has taken away £50 million from the reserves of London Fire fire brigade and all. It's all right taking away, but then if there is a balanced budget, and when we are talking about balanced budget, then it could have given some of that money back and sort of balanced it on that basis. But it's really pity that the Boris is not here to answer these questions, and I hope these questions are put, because don't play with the safety of Londoners. It's really important that they do a wonderful job, and certainly with the community outreach work, that will certainly affect with 520 losses overall in London, because there are certain times that are spent on community outreach work, and that's why there are less fires. And what happens when all of that reduction, there will be more fires, and there will be more, there'll be less people going out to the examples of what the ladies had mentioned about, people coming and doing the fire safety checks and all that.
Thank you, Councillor. Okay, if I could start with the Commissioner then, for Rushnara's question about these reductions possibly would lead to a reduction in community safety work.
I think there's two parts to the answer on that. I think first of all is that there's two types of community safety work that we do. And one is called Brigade fire safety, which is
I'm going, by the way. I'm going out before any more fire get killed, before anybody in South Africa get killed, because of you just all four of them. All right, no, go away. I don't want to be told by bloody fire. I'm an operator. Right, I will go where I want to go, right? You, I'll do all of them. You, picky you, and you is scum. Right? One day you're going to need a fireman, mate. Yeah, if you can look me straight in the eye. How many months will you be behind me? 79?
I don't remember what it was.
No, 79 you will, wasn't it? Yeah. Thank you. What they said, use the best. You're even worse than Clark. You know what I'm talking about. See you later, guys. See you later, everybody. See you later, Bernadette. Is that Bernadette? Yeah. Rapid job. Yeah. 8 doors away. Yeah, the old fireman. Lucky to get away before I got killed by an arsehole.
Oh, what's he got?
Two types. In terms of the work we do around making sure that buildings are safe, we've got fire rate settings, there's no proposal for any change in the staff that carry that work out and they're separate to fire stations. In terms of the community safety work that firefighters do, such as the lady in front actually spoke about earlier on, obviously there will be less firefighters to carry out that work, but I'm very confident that actually we will just use the people that we've got to actually carry out work on a wider basis. So stations grounds that are currently, say Boroughs as an example, that ground will then become part of the ground station surrounding it, and do the job of those firefighters that carry on doing those risk assessments. And also we will use people from wider afield. So we need to make sure that the community safety work, there is an imbalance at the moment across London in terms of the amount of community safety work that individual stations and individual washes do, and we need to correct that imbalance anyway. So we'll balance the workload out to make sure that all the fire risk assessments and home fire safety visits that are requested will still get done.
Yes, but how do you moralise the next people if they're going to be cut? How do you moralise that they're going to be if their numbers are going to be cut? They do a flaming good job, and and I'm blaming, I shouldn't have used that.
I'm really pleased that you say that, and I accept and I agree that firefighters in London do an excellent job, and actually some of the statistics I've shown you in that presentation I think demonstrate what a good job our firefighters do and have done in London over the last 10 or so years. The fact is at the moment that we've got less funding to actually provide that service, and we've got to find a way of taking those savings which balances the whole of the service. Now we've taken over £60 million out of support services, but we need to make sure that the firefighters that are on fire stations are paid regularly, paid properly, got the right equipment, trained properly. And we can't do that if we keep taking all the savings out away from support services, because there'll be nothing there to support the good work the firefighters do out in the community. So it's about trying to find a balance to the London Fire Brigade, making sure we can still be as operationally effective as we are at the moment, making sure we can still go out and do the visits to people's homes to make sure that people feel safe. We've reduced the amount of money available to us. So as I said in the presentation, I demonstrated where the money comes from and how it's reducing. And this is a plan which, in my belief, balances up with the demands on the London Fire Brigade and maybe we can still continue to provide an excellent service to Londoners.
Let's keep it as an essential service.
Okay, thank you, Madam. If I could come to you, Chairman, another part of Rushnara's question was about the council tax. You know, reduction in 1p or keep the fire service the same. Maybe we could link with Councillor Ali's question about should Boris be here for these kind of consultations.
I've said it before, I can only say it again, the 1p or the 1% reduction in council tax would not cover the cost. It wouldn't cover it. It wouldn't. You can keep nodding, it wouldn't. You can do the maths. It raises nine, yeah, it's about £9.7 million. If that money were available, it would still have to be split across all functional bodies, so it wouldn't all be able to come to the London Fire Brigade. And even if it did all come to the London Fire Brigade, it wouldn't cover the £30+ million reduction in grants. So that money would not make this problem go away. And constantly saying it would is disingenuous to the people we're discussing this with, because it wouldn't. And I'll tell you something, if you can make £9 million cover a £30 million shortfall, come talk to us, because we did at the election. We did. It's the election. Well, no. The point being is that we said we were going to make savings. We said we were going to cut council tax. It was a commitment we made at the election. And the point being is that the thing we're prioritising is our ability to protect Londoners. We are prioritising that. And we're going to make sure that we continue that as a priority. As we've discussed, we've shown you how that proposal is. I appreciate you might not agree, you might have concern about it. That's why we're having this consultation process. Put your ideas into the consultation process. Ultimately, yes, I mean, we absolutely will take all the feedback on board. Whatever plan is ultimately presented to the Fire Authority has to come within budget. I'm not going to sit here and say that that means that we are going to be able to prevent stations being closed. I'm not at all convinced that the maths will stack up on that. We'll see what the responses to the consultation come back with, and we will look at those and we will take them seriously. We'll look at where people want the priorities. The Commissioner said that these proposals are driven by a set of priorities which underpin our decision making, and we're asking people for their comments on those priorities and proposals. And if people say, no, we want you to prioritise something differently, then we will look at that. As I said, the way we've prioritised it is people before trucks before buildings. That's the priority that we put forward. If people want to reprioritise that, then let us know. It's not been exposed. We put it on our website.
Well, you never mentioned it here.
fundamentally disagree that the mayor's not listening. We're in the middle of the consultation process, so clearly there can be and there will be no formal action or decision until the consultation process is finished. So to say that you've spoken to the mayor but he's not listening, I think it's been unfair, because in the midway through a consultation there would be no action that he could initiate, because that would be prejudicing the results of the consultation. So we are listening. We are. I'm here to listen. I'm the mayor's appointee to the fire authority, and that's why I'm here. And we absolutely will listen to your representations, to other local politicians, to local residents, to local firefighters. We absolutely will listen. As I say, the ultimate plans will need to come in within budget, and they will need to sit within the parameters that the priorities that we put forward. With regard to the differentials, again, I mean, I disagree that these are you use the word massive differentials, but they will always be differentials within boroughs. When you drill down to ward by ward breakdowns, you do sometimes get big variations even within boroughs because
between pre-closure and post-closure.
Yes.
Do you think this consultation is sound? I've been asking
Yes, absolutely.
those figures for a long time. It takes me asking the commander of the London Fire and Emergency Planning Authority for him to let on that those figures are buried somewhere on the website, and they were buried. It took me a long time to find them. Do you think the consultation is sound when you haven't presented those figures to Londoners? They're not in your consultation document, they're not in your draft plan, and they're not in your consultation presentation. Do you think your consultation stands up rigorously to inspection when you don't tell people what the impact of your closure is?
I'm very glad you brought up the detail about the. I'll tell you why.
Why didn't you bring it up?
Because the precise wording of this consultation and the wording on the slides was decided upon by a committee. The authority said that every single word of this consultation, including the layout, all the charts, even the colour scheme, is going to be decided on by a committee.
Well, it's great, it looks pretty.
Labour, Lib Dem and Green members the fire authority. So if there's something in here you don't like, or something that should be in there that you don't like, don't take it up with me, because actually this proposal was dictated by dot and comma by a left of centre dominated committee. So if you're not happy with it, have a word with your Labour colleagues.
Oh, great.
Given that the left of centre dominated